Hi, all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, so guys, welcome to the demo session for the AZ-104, and I am gonna be your trainer for this module. So today we are going to talk about that what and all syllabus we are going to cover under this, what and all topics we are going to cover under this, right? And as you know, this is going to be the weekend batch, right? And the whole module, the whole AZ-104 is totally based on the practical labs. It is totally based on the live scenarios. It is totally based on the companies, how companies are working onto Azure, or how they are opting the cloud technology, right? So yes, Microsoft is a most emerging. Azure is basically a most emerging cloud technology that is being used in the organization nowadays, right? Yes, the market leader is AWS, no doubt, but the second one is Azure, AZ-10 Azure, and like Azure has multiple services, but and all services AWS is giving the same services Microsoft is also giving to its clients, and maybe by 2025 it will be able to get more market. It will be able to get more, you know, the more market into the client, and the more companies will be able to opt for Microsoft Azure, right? So our whole module is totally based on the syllabus that is provided by the Microsoft. Okay, and let me show you. So first of all, just a second, guys. It is. So hope you all are aware of what is cloud computing, right? So can anybody explain what a cloud computing is? Can anybody tell? Any one of you?
To host our server and network somewhere in cloud, so from the corporate office user can access. It's a little bit cheap, and the maintenance will not require from our side. It will show the cloud management responsibility. That's what I know. That
Exactly, as simple as that only. Yes. So earlier, what we used to do, we have to build our data center, we have to procure the servers, we have to procure the network devices, and then security, and then backup, power backup, internet backup. Everything we have to plan if everything we have to plan if we have to build a data center, right? But nowadays it is not needed at all. What we can do, we can just go for either of the cloud technology, right? And we can just build our infrastructure over there, and no need to create no need to plan the maintenance, and all this is actually maintained by the vendor itself. If it is AWS, then AWS will going to manage the maintenance. If it is Azure, Azure will going to manage your servers, manage your power backup, and whatever the things are needed. Okay, and even it gives you the liberty to pay only the services that you are using, right? If let's suppose you installed a server, you created a server onto Azure, right? And Microsoft is going to charge only for the time that services has been run, right? It is not going to charge you 24 into 7. It will going to charge till the server is in the power on state. So this is the like, you can say this is a plus point, right? Only you have to pay to the that amount only for which your services are running. Okay, and even as I told you, no need to take care of the maintenance, no need to take care of the internet, right? Everything is being managed by the Microsoft. Okay, so to create a Azure account, we will be needing one credit card, right? There are two types of subscription that we can get under Azure. One is pay as you go, and the second one is free trial, right? So for now, I am using free trial account. Let me Azure portal dot. So to access the portal, so the URL will be portal.azure.com, right? Okay. So as I told you, there are two types of account. Either you can go with the pay as you go. Yes, company used to go with pay as you go only because they do not afford, or it will, free offering will not going to help in real time environment, right? So in real time, we have to go with pay as you go service, right? And Microsoft is going to charge you per month. So per month, it will going to generate a bill for you, whatever services you have opted, whatever the services are running in your tenant, it is going to charge from you. Okay. So to create a free trial account, we will be needing one credit card, right? First of all, we have to create a account either on, you can create your email ID on either on Gmail or on Outlook, right? After creating an account, we have to sign up for free trial account, right? And to create, we will be needing a credit card. And guys, one more thing, if you have already used your credit card in creating the Azure account, then in that case, you will not be able to use your second credit card. It may possible that you will be having 5 or 10 credit cards, right? But only one can be used. One person can use only one credit card of it. So if you have already used any of the credit card in creating the account in Azure, so you have to use any separate credit card, not yours. You have to get it from anyone else, because Microsoft allows only one free trial account for one user. So always it should be unique. A credit card should be unique. The same person will not be able to use the second credit card in case you have to create the free trial account. Okay. So first of all, what we'll do, we will create one account, right? And to create a free trial, right? You can just go to, okay. So I'm giving this link to you all. It is in the chat box, because see, we will be needing it, right? From next class onwards, we are going to start our topics, right? How to configure what and all things are needed. So this is the prerequisite. So we have to make sure that we should create a free trial account. Okay. So the link is in your chat. Okay. Right. So now go to Azure portal. So what it will do, it will redirect me direct to the Azure portal, because I have already created the account, right? But let me show you with the help of incognito window. Hmm. Okay, so go to portal, Azure portal, right? It will ask you for a account. You need to create an account, right? If you have already any Microsoft account, you can just log in with that. If you don't have, then you can go with the create one. Okay, select this one and just create your account. For example, whatever your user account, right? You want to create your email ID, You can just go with that. Let's suppose I'm going with @hotmail.com, right? Go next. You have to choose a super memorable password. Next. And the birth dates, just you can change, you can select any one of them. Or if you want to say correct, if you want to give the correct information, that is also fine. So this is the account that we have created. Okay. Oh man, this is the difficult thing. Anyways, let me go with the audio. Type the number song, change instrument halfway, and then press the enter. Just a second, guys. Let me just pass through with this puzzle. Okay. So you have to do the verification, right? Once you're able to create the account, and then you will be redirected to the dashboard, right? And now we have to create the free trial, right? You can see here, start with free trial, and over after sign up with the credit card, you will be able to get $200, right? So these $200, we will be able to create our virtual machine. We will be able to create our storage. We will be able to create our DNS. So whatever, we will be needing some amount, right? So that we can just create some of the services of the Azure. We will be able to use some services of the Azure. So that is why after signing up with a credit card, you will get $200, right? Then go to start. So as I told you, there are two types of subscriptions, right? One is start free, one is pay as you go. For now, no need to go with pay as you go, guys, right? If you're going to select pay as you go, then at that time only Microsoft will start charging from you. Okay, so it is not needed at all. It is just for the production environment, right? So for us, we are just going with the start free account. And now you have to give give some information about you, and you have to give the information of your credit card also. Okay, so I have already used my credit card, so I'm not going to use, I do not have any another this one credit card, so I'm just going to show you, right? So you can just choose your verification method. Either you want a text or you want to call yourself. So you have to provide your phone number, and this PAN ID, it is optional, no need to give it. Okay, after giving this all information, then it will ask you to add the card. So this is, you can say, you identify verification by card, right? Then you have to add your credit card. After adding it, it will verify, Microsoft will verify whether it is a unique one, or the card or the person has already used the credit card, right? After doing this, then only you will be able to sign up, and then only you will get the $200 in your Azure wallet. And
We do
that
not need to.
$200,
We do not need to pay for anything.
no, for now, no need to pay anything. For free trial is valid for these $200 are valid for 1 month. Okay, so you can use that $200 till 1 month, and we will be able to, I'll try to cover the syllabus within 1 month, but if we will not be able to, then we have to manage, right? But we have one more option, we can extend our free subscription also. There is a
Okay.
method. Yeah.
Uh, in our case, actually, we have opted for AZ 500 and 700.
Mhm.
So it is going to take some more time, right?
Exactly. So in that case, I will let you know one method by which you will be able to extend your free subscription for 1 month, for one more month.
Okay.
Okay. So after signing up, let me show you the $200 you will get. I already signed up yesterday, and I just got $200 into my Azure wallet. See, 15,800 credit, right? So $200 is equal to $15,800. Okay, now what and all service I need to use, I will be able to use it, and I need not to pay anything till 1 month, right? Because see, it is a free trial account. If you are going to subscription, so this is a subscription. From here you will be able to check that your balance, as well as your how many subscription you have. One account can have many subscription. We can add many subscription for one account. Okay, so if let's suppose I am going to subscription, so for me, you are able to see that it is a free trial. It is a free trial account. But if you are going for pay as you go, then it would be different. Okay, and even if you are a student, if you are working in sorry, if you are already in a university, or if you are doing your btechs or whatever your graduation you are doing, so in that case you can create one student account also. In student account you will get $100. Okay, so the idea is we have to get the amount, in our wallet, then only we will be able to use the services of Azure. Okay, now this is a free trial, right? And it will be valid till 1 month. See, subscription free trial. Okay, and here you can see your free credit expire in 28 days. So after 28 days, automatically this subscription will be expired. Microsoft will going to ask me to upgrade this account to pay as you go. Then only I will be able to use the services of it. If I'm not going to use, if I don't want to, if I'm not going to upgrade this account, right, then I will not be able to use the services. Because automatically this subscription will be expire after 28 days. It will be disabled automatically by the Microsoft end, right? So these $200 we will use in a way that we will be able to complete all our labs. So as I told you, Microsoft will gonna charge me for the services, for the services that are running only. For only running services, Microsoft is going to charge from me, right? Let's suppose if I've created a virtual machine, right, and that virtual machine is not running 24/7, it is just running, like you can say within a month, it just ran for 30 hours for whole month. So Microsoft will going to charge only for the 30 hours, right? Even for production environment also, as well as for free trial also. So Microsoft will going to charge only the amount, or only the services which are running, right, which are in the stop state. Microsoft will not going to charge. Yes, if in the stop state, virtual machine is using some storage, some hard disk, then for this particular hard disk it will charge, and it will be very minimal amount. Okay, let me just show you one example of creating a virtual machine. So you can see here virtual machines, right? So select this option, and now we have an option of create, and then Azure virtual machine. And guys, one more thing, that if let's suppose in a region, there are basically regions, you can see the regions, see Europe, West, East US, East US 2, West US 3. So there are multiple regions actually. So these regions are basically your data center, where actually the data center is present of Microsoft. Okay, let's suppose if you are going with India, then in that case the data center is available in central India. The Microsoft data center is available in central India, right? So wherever you are going to, if you are going to choose the region as central India, then your virtual machine is going to be configured into the central India's Microsoft data center, right? So basically you can say you have you took the servers on rent. Okay, now it's a free trial subscription. Obviously I do not have any other one, but if let's suppose, as I told you, one account can have many subscription, in that case we can choose the subscriptions. Okay, for me I only have the free trial. I'm going to select free trial, and then resource group, RG. What is resource group? So resource group is basically a container under which you can add the services of Azure. Whatever services you want to access, you want to create, either it is VPN, either it is firewall, or it is storage, whatever the services are available into Azure, first of all we have to create the resource group, we have to create the container, so that under that container we can just place our services. That is called resource group, where actually all the information of your resources are going to be available. Okay, so we have to create a resource group. You can select create new. So let's suppose I'm going with resource group 1. I'm naming it as RG1. Now depends on you, depends on the organization how they want to name it, but I'm going with RG1. Now I need to give the name to my virtual machine also, right? So let's suppose I am naming it as web server 1. Okay, and region I'm selecting central India. Depends on the need, we can select any other region also, but as we are working in India, so I'm going to select central India only. Then we have availability zone. For now we are going with no infrastructure redundancy required. I will let you know what is availability options are. how we can work on it. So basically, if you want the backup of your virtual machine, in that case, we can select the availability zone, right? Because see, it may possible we cannot rely on a one virtual machine only. Obviously, it is going to be configured on some hardware, right? And that hardware can be down. It may possible there is some issues going on with that hardware. It may possible the server on which our VM is hosted, that is experiencing some connectivity issue, some internet issue. So obviously we will not be able to connect that. The users will not be able to use the services of that, right? So what we will do, we will plan like that the same virtual machine is going to be configured on different data centers, so that if one data center is down, then still the users will be able to use the services from the second data center. That is called the availability zone, right? In real time, I will let you know how to configure it. But for now, let's go with the no infrastructure redundancy required. Okay. Then the security type also, I'm going with standard. Later on, I will let you know what and all securities we can configure for our VMs, like how many users will be able to connect at a time, right? If let's suppose I want to deny some particular user, so I can deny that also by blocking its public IP. So there are multiple options from which we can just put more security onto our virtual machines, right? Then the image, that what type of operating system you want to create, right? So there are multiple images are available basically. If you're going to select this one, and then you can get create a Ubuntu machine, SUSE Linux, Red Hat, Debian, Windows Server, Windows 10 machine, Windows 11 machine, and many more, right? So let's suppose I want to create Windows Server 2019 data center, right? And the architecture, it will be going to be 64 bit. And then size of your VM, right? So you can choose the size as well. For now it is one virtual CPU and 1 GB memory, 1 GB RAM, right? But we are not good with it. We can just select the more virtual CPUs and the more RAM size also. So first of all, higher will be the computing power, higher will be the cost. As simple as that, right? If you are going to choose the higher compute power, in that case, higher will be the cost that is going to be charged by the Microsoft. Okay. And we have more options. Like if you are not okay with these sizes, we can go with any other series also. So guys, this is your task. This is your homework as well. You have to go through with these series. It can be interview questions, right? Interviewer can ask, what is D series virtual machine? What is B series? What is E series? What is F series? Right? So this is your task, that you have to read about all these types of virtual machines. Okay. If let's suppose you want to host a gaming website, then in that case, obviously you will be needing graphic card and you will be needing high compute power. In that 32 GB RAM is not enough, right? So we can choose the graphic card 16 GB, 32 GB, whatever your requirement is. You can just go with the with your requirement, and you can choose the appropriate compute power. Okay. See, you can see here the latest generation E family sizes for high memory needed, then vector processing workload, NVMe storage, graphic intensive, and visualization workload. So you can go with N series if you want to host a gaming website. Then in that case, you can go with this one. right? And in this case, you will get a 6 virtual CPU is the minimum, and then the maximum 24, 18, 72, right? And even we can customize also. Let's suppose our requirement is not available here. So what we can do, let's suppose I want 1024 GB RAM onto my virtual machine. Obviously that 1024 we can get it, right? It should be there. But let's suppose I want more than that, right? More than 1024. Then in that case, I can ask Microsoft to create a special virtual machine for you. Right? So Microsoft will going to create a virtual machine as per the requirement. And again, the charge is according to the uh, power, the compute power that we have selected. Okay. So for now, I'm just going with the basic one, which is D series. And under D series, or let me go with most used by the Azure users. So I'm just going with one virtual CPU and 3.5 GB of RAM. Select. Okay, so the charges will be 7,452 per month. If I am going to turn on this server 24 into 7, then the charges will be 7,452. But if it is for 30 hours or 20 hours, so during that time, only for that time, the Microsoft is going to charge from me. Okay, then I have to provide some username also. So let's suppose I'm going with the name web user, right? And the password, we have to provide the password as well. Okay, now the inbound ports. So hope you are aware of, if I need to take the systems on remote, on RDP, if I want the RDP session of my servers, even in case of on-prem also. So it works, RDP actually works on port 3389. So we have to enable this port. We have to enable this port, then only I will be able to take this system on remote. Then only I can take the RDP session of this server. Okay, so 3389 is needed as well. If let's suppose you want to host a website onto it, okay, then you can enable port number 80 as well as port number 443. Right, later on also we can select that which port we want to allow, but there are, here we are getting just only 4 options. But once the virtual machine will be created, at that time we will get multiple options. Like if you want to ping the server outside the network, then we have to enable the ping protocol for this virtual machine. By default it is disabled. Though this machine will be having the public IP, still we will not be able to ping the virtual machine from our systems. Why? Because the ping protocol is disabled by default. Okay, so now go next. This is the disk, right? So automatically one thing we have to note, whenever you are creating a virtual machine onto Azure, we will get 127 GB in our C drive. In case of Windows, it will be 127 GB, and in case of Linux, it would be around 80 GB. Okay, by default, we'll get the C drive of 127 GB. It can be interview question, right? But based on our requirement, we can expand it later on if it is needed. And if you want to add any other external disk, that is also possible. Okay, you have to select create and attach a new disk. Let's suppose you want to add D drive, E drive, F drive, right? In that case, you have to choose this option. For now, only we are going to get C drive only, that is of 127 GB. Okay. Now next, this is the networking part. So for now, I'm not creating any virtual network. I'm going to use the default one, but later on, once we will cover our network topic over there, I will let you know how we can play around with these options. Okay. The subnet, I'm going to take the default subnet, and but we can create our own subnets also if needed. And then public IP. Obviously, if whenever I need to access any of the server, means if I need to connect the server from my system, if I need to take the RDP session of the server from my system, then in that case, that server should be configured with a public IP. Okay, so I need to create a public IP. So select create new. Here you need to choose basic, not standard. If you're going with standard, then Microsoft is going to charge a huge amount, right? So for us, basic is okay. We can go with basic and the static. So if you're going to choose static, in that case, that IP is going to be remain for your virtual machine. It will not going to be changed if you are going to shut down the machine, if you are going to restart the machine, it will not going to change. But in case if you are choosing dynamic, right? And for a while, let's suppose you shut down your virtual machine. In that case, whenever you are going to restart, automatically the IP is going to be changed if you are going to choose dynamic in that case. And hope you are already aware of that whenever we are working with the servers should have the static IP. Either it is public or it is private. It is not mandatory, but it is a industry practice actually. We can assign IPs to our servers from our DHCP server as well, but it is not recommended. Okay, so always we can go with the static IP. Now, okay, so we are good with everything. Just review and create these management monitoring advanced, right? These are the things. If let's suppose I want to put on more security onto my virtual machine, so in that case I can use these options. Okay, but let's leave it. We are not going to select anything for now. And then review plus create. See, the charges are going to be 10 rupees per hour. If I'll choose high compute power, then in that case, it will be higher. Okay, the validation is passed, and then we can create our virtual machine. Right. So meanwhile, it is getting created. So let's go with the topics that we are going to cover. Right. As well, guys, I'm going to upload these PDF books as well as the interview questions or the assignments onto your portal, right? So that you can go through with it, and you can just dive into the topics. Okay, so this is the PDF in which everything is available. See, these are the table contents under which managing Azure AD objects, then in implementing uh, hybrid identities. Hybrid means if let's suppose you want to you want your on-prem servers, you want to migrate to cloud, or let's suppose you have a on-prem Azure AD, you want to connect it with Azure AD, then in that case we can do that as well, and we are going to cover this topic. Okay, then RBAC policy, and then Azure subscription resource manager, ARM. This is the storage. right? Now we have a different service for the storage. Earlier we used to create the file servers, right? Earlier, for if let's suppose there is an application and that application is dumping the data onto your SQL server, onto your database, right? But now there is a separate service available, that is table storage, queue storage, right? And the application can dump the data onto your storage account. What we have to do, we have to create a separate storage account into Azure. If you want, the users will be able to access your storage, the user will be able to store their data. In that case, we have to create a separate storage account in our Azure. So in the same portal, in the same portal, we can create our storage account. Okay, so if you are going to search, then storage, these are the storage accounts. So in order to access the storage, or in order to create the storage, we have to create a account first of all, and then we can do whatever we want. Okay, and then data storage, file share, if let's suppose you want to create some file shares also, right? That is also possible. Again, it is a different feature, right? Earlier you used to create a server, right? Under that server you used to create a file share, iSCSI services you used to install, but now it is not needed at all. It is a separate service, it is a dedicated service that we can use. Okay, now creating, configuring of Azure virtual machines, how to create VMs, right? How to redeploy a VM, how to create a VM template. If let's suppose you want to create your own template, that is also possible. We can create our own template also. Then automating deployment of VMs, that is called virtual machine skill set, VMSS, right? What is VMSS? What it will do actually? Now let's suppose you have hosted a website, right? And number of users are hitting your website. So depending upon the compute power of the server, it will be able to respond to the queries of the users. But if you want to make your website highly available, then you can configure it with virtual machine scale set. Or there is one more thing, that is load balancing. That is a different part, but for now we are talking about virtual machine scale set, VMSS. So what it will do, okay, so let's suppose I'm hosting a website onto this server. Okay, and from outside, like number of users are hitting to my website. Now obviously, depending upon the compute power, this server will be able to respond to the queries, and once it will reaches to its max power, at a certain point it will deny, it will not able to respond the user's query, means I will not be able to access the website. So in that case, what we can do, we can configure the virtual machine scale set, so that if the threshold value of the CPU reaches to 80%, for example, what it will do, it will automatically create one more virtual machine. It will automatically create one more virtual machine. Now still these two machines are not able to respond to the queries. Again, it will create one more virtual machine. So basically the concept comes scale in and scale out, right? Once the load will be like minimum, or once the load will be normal, automatically these virtual machines will get deleted. But if again the load is maximum, automatically it will create multiple virtual machine. We can just define a number that we want under our virtual machine scale set. We want 12 virtual machine. So maximum it will be able to create 12 VM. Maximum it can create 12 VM. And once the load will be normal, again, it will get deleted. So this is not your task. Automatically it will get deleted. Right? So wherever you have an idea that yes, it may possible. Let's suppose you can take example of this Amazon, and you can take example of this Flipkart, right? So every time they used to announce some big billion sale and all. So obviously at that time they have to make sure that their website should be highly available for all the users. Right? So in that case, at that point, if let's suppose they are announcing the sale for 2 or 3 days, so in that case they can configure it with VMSS. I'm not saying that VMSS is only the option. We have the option of load balancing also. Okay, this is just to make you understand what a VMSS is. Okay, so what it will do, it will create automatically the virtual machine, and both virtual machines will be able to share the load of the users. They will start responding to the user's query, and the website will be highly available for them. Okay. Now containerization is also there. How to create the container, that is Kubernetes, Dockers, that is also we are going to cover under it. And then configuring a web application, right? Virtual networking. If let's suppose you want to connect your on-premise network to the Azure, that is also possible. But this will not be possible in our lab. I will let you know what is the procedure, how we can do it. Okay, but for us it will not be possible because we need to connect with ISP, and ISP will going to create a connection with our Azure account and with our on-prem data center. In production environment it is possible, but for our labs we will not be able to do it. This is the only thing we cannot do it practically. Apart from that, what and all things are, we are going to do it practically. Okay, and I will let you know the limitation as well, that why we will not be able to do it in our lab. Okay, then this is the load balancing. That is what I was talking about, that we have the option of load balancing also. You can configure your website with the option of load balance as well. Okay, then securing, this is the security, how you can secure your networks. And then monitoring, and then analyze resource utilization and consumption, and then backup and disaster recovery. Azure AD is also there, we have already talked about. So Azure AD is also there. So this book I'm going to upload it on your portal. Okay, everything is available onto it. And even you will be, if let's suppose you are covering any of the topic, so you will be able to configure it by your own, because everything is available with it screenshot. Let's suppose you are doing the Azure AD or whatever the topic you are doing. So in that case, for a reference, you can use this book. So everything is available with the screenshot. Okay, so this will gonna help you. And along with it, I will let you know what and all possible questions will be there, what and all possible interview questions will be there. So that also you will get on your portals, and you can just prepare yourself. Okay. Now let's go back to our portal. Go to home and go to your virtual machines. So see, this web server is running right now. It is in central India. Okay. To take this system on remote, we have two options. Either we can go to our system directly, right? And we can give the public IP here, this IP, this IP. We can go to our MSTSC RDP and then we can just provide this public IP and then connect. It will gonna ask me for the credentials. Okay, so I'm just going with the credential that we have created, that is web user and its password. See, I'm able to connect. So this is the VM that we have created. And now under this, what and all services you want to install. Let's suppose you want to make this server as a web server. You want to make this as a FTP. You want to make this as a domain controller, whatever you want, you can do it. So I am assuming like that you have already the knowledge of servers. Is it? I can assume, right? Everyone.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, Anshul.
Okay. So this will be the server manager dashboard, right? Under which we will be able to install the features. Okay. And now let me show you the configuration of this machine. See, first of all, we just only got the C drive, which is of 126 GB. As I told you that around 127 GB space we will get by default if we are going to create any of the virtual machine, any of the Windows virtual machine, right? But later on, how to expand the size, that is also possible. We can expand it later on. I will let you know how we can do that. Okay, and even if you want to check the operating system and all, so it is Windows Server 2019. It is with 3.45 GB of RAM, right? We selected only 3.5 GB. Okay, now whatever the feature you want to install onto it, you can do. Just go to dashboard, add roles and features, next. So this is the IP 10.0.0.4 that is being assigned by the subnet. We chose the default subnet, right? By default subnet, we have not created our own subnet, but later on we are going to create our own. Once we'll touch our network topic over there, I will let you know how we can create our own subnets.